Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. It is a beautiful Lord's Day. We're going to have wonderful services in all three locations, all of our services today. It's going to be a great time in the Lord as Brother John continues to minister. And some of you, for the first time in your life, are going to begin to move into the abundant life that God has for you. As someone who is called an apostle of finance begins to sit down and unfold the scripture to you about how you and I can walk into the abundant life. It's going to be great services. We'll look forward to seeing you. Right now, I want us to come back to the book of Numbers chapter 12, beginning with verse 1. Miriam and Aaron began to talk against Moses because of his Cushite wife, for he had married a Cushite. Has the Lord spoken only through Moses, they asked? Hasn't he also spoken through us? And the Lord heard this. Now Moses was a very humble man, more humble than anyone else on the face of the earth. At once the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, "Come out of the tent of meeting, all three of you." So the three of them came out. Then the Lord came down on the pillar of cloud, and he stood at the entrance to the tent and summoned Aaron and Miriam. And both of them stepped forward, and he said, "Listen to my words. When a prophet of the Lord is among you, I reveal myself to him in visions, and I speak to him in dreams. But this is not true of my servant Moses, for he is faithful in all my house. When I speak with him, I speak face to face, clearly and not in riddles. He sees the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?" The anger of the Lord burned against them, and he left them. Now, what I'm about to teach you very quickly sounds a little self-serving, but to be perfectly blunt, I can teach it because as a pastor, you make my life a joy. I mean, I am privileged to pastor the greatest people on earth. So this is not so much for me as it is maybe for some of you that don't attend COP and you're part of other churches, and it's really easy for you to begin to speak against your pastors. Now, I want you to notice what it means to talk against your leaders. Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because their personal opinions disagreed with Moses' personal lifestyle. Now, forgive me, Moses hadn't broken any scriptures, but their personal opinions, they didn't like his lifestyle. Now, I've been through this in life. There are people that didn't like the fact that I collect lions. Who cares? But it's hurt my feelings a couple times in life. There are people who have made fun of me because I like to write with fountain pens. It was something that was part of my father's life, and I've always enjoyed it because my dad enjoyed it. And so I like to write with fountain pens. And people make fun of me because I like to write with fountain pens. Well, and I especially like using my father's fountain pen. So please, if you're a pastor listening to me, I understand. There are people that criticize you because of your personal life that has nothing to do with right or wrong. It has nothing to do with scriptures. It has nothing to do with your ministry of leadership. They just didn't like the fact that I had one person criticize me one time because I was playing badminton in a pair of shorts. Now, they weren't shorts because I'm tabat, diba? So, I mean, they were shorts down below my knee, and I had a headband on because, you know, when you're bald, the sweat comes down in your eyeballs. And these people said, that's not appropriate for a pastor to be dressed like that. Well, what's appropriate dress to play badminton, you know? But I'd violated no scripture, but people still felt they had the right to speak against me because in their personal opinion, what I was doing in my personal life, they disagreed with. Now, I want you to notice what happens. When people disagree with your personal life, the next thing that they do is they use it to promote themselves. Verse 2. God speaks through us also. So notice, they start promoting themselves above the leader. As soon as they find a reason to disagree, as soon as they find a reason not to like so, they start promoting themselves above the leader. Now, if you're a leader and you've been through this, I want to challenge you today. Don't fight back. Don't fight back. God hears. God hears everything people say against you. So don't fight back. Just like Moses was the humblest man that ever lived, well, just try to be humble like Moses and, you know, take a punch, all right? You're going to have to learn to take a few punches. Be humble. God hears. And if you look in verses 3 to 9, God validated Moses' leadership. So rather than fight your own battles, you just keep doing what God called you to do. Let God validate your leadership.